You know, in a booming real estate market, it's pretty easy for anyone to look like a genius. But what happens when the party's over? When the market cools down, that's when we really see who's built to last. And that's exactly what we're digging into today. What separates the brokerages that actually thrive at a downturn from those that just barely hang on?
This is it, right? This is the million-dollar question that probably keeps brokers and agents up at night. When the phones suddenly stop ringing and the deals just aren't there, what's the real difference between the businesses that make it through the storm and the ones that have to close their doors for good? Well, here's the good news. We don't have to guess. The answers are actually in the data. A really deep analysis of the top 1,000 brokerages in the country pulls back the curtain, and it shows us exactly what works when the pressure is really, truly on. And this right here is the core idea. It comes from Jack Miller, the CEO of T360, and his research is what powers this whole analysis. He puts it perfectly, doesn't he? A downturn isn't just a tough time, it's a test. It's like a force of nature that reveals who built their business on a solid foundation and, well, who built theirs on sand. Okay, so before we can really understand the survivors, we have to understand the battlefield they're fighting on. And let me tell you, the ground is shifting under everyone's feet. There are these huge forces out there completely reshaping the real estate industry as we know it. So what are we talking about? First, you've got this massive consolidation happening, which is squeezing out smaller, independent players. Then there's the explosion of AI, which is automating tasks that used to take entire teams to do. You've also got mortgage companies jumping directly into the real estate transaction, which totally changes the flow of everything. And on top of it all, you just have the simple fact that markets go up and they come down. These aren't just little trends. They're like tectonic shifts creating both huge risks and, for some, huge opportunities. Let's just take consolidation for a second. What does that actually mean? It means as these bigger national brands get even bigger, the whole competitive landscape gets way, way more intense. It becomes incredibly difficult for the smaller independent shops to compete with their giant marketing budgets and all their resources. This force alone is a major survival test. So, with this really challenging battlefield laid out, how in the world do the top performers handle it? What does their playbook for survival actually look like? Well, the data shows some really clear patterns. The analysis paints this really sharp picture, a contrast between two kinds of businesses. On one side, you have what they call the durable ones. These are the folks who are proactive. They invest in tech like AI, not because it's a shiny new toy, but because it's a foundation for the future. Then you have the fragile businesses. They're always reacting, always a step behind, relying on old systems and just chasing that next commission check instead of building real long-term value. It's a totally different mindset. Are you building for the whole cycle or just for the good times? Okay, so we've seen the forces changing the market, and we've seen the two different paths a business can take. Let's bring it all home. When you strip everything else away, what's the one crucial thing that runs through every single one of the survivors? After going through all of the data, all of the trends, all the strategies, this entire thing really boils down to one essential piece of wisdom. This is it. This is the ultimate takeaway, the one thing that really matters more than anything else. And to get right to the heart of it, the people behind the analysis asked Jack Miller himself one final, simple question. It's one of those questions that just cuts through all the noise and gets right to the point. Just think about that. If you were starting from scratch right now, in this market, with all these challenges and all the new opportunities, where would an expert like him put every single ounce of their energy? What's the number one thing? And his answer, well, it's everything. It's not about some fancy technology or a clever marketing trick. The secret is a total shift in how you think about your business. Stop chasing the next deal. Start building a truly durable business from the ground up, one with solid systems and smart strategies designed to last, not just to ride the highs of a hot market. Which, of course, brings the question right back to you. When you look at this framework of durable versus fragile, where does your business stand? Honestly, are you building something that can actually weather any storm that comes its way, or is it vulnerable to the very next shift in the market? Because thinking about that, that might just be the most important question you can ask yourself right now.